Good morning. Today is February the 27th. Our verse for today is Genesis 32:24. And Jacob was left alone, and there he wrestled a man with him until the breaking of day. Left alone. What different emotions these words bring to mind for each of us. To some, they mean loneliness and grief, but to others, they mean rest and quiet. To be left alone without God would be too horrible for words, while being left alone with Him is a taste of heaven. And if His followers spent more time alone with Him, we would have spiritual giants again. Our Master set an example for us. Remember how often He went to be alone with God? And there was a powerful purpose behind His command. When you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray. Matthew chapter 6, verse 6. The greatest miracles of Elijah and Elisha took place when they were alone with God. Jacob was alone with God when he became a prince. See Genesis 32:28. Yes, Jacob became like a prince. And the word says, "And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed." In the same way, we too may become royalty and people who are wondered at. In Zechariah chapter 3, verse 8, the word says, "Hear now, O Joshua the high priest, thou and thy fellows that sit before thee, for they are men wondered at. For behold, I will bring forth my servant, the branch." Joshua was alone when the Lord came to him. In Joshua 1, Gideon and Jephthah were by themselves when commissioned to save Israel in Judges chapter 6. Moses was by himself at the burning bush in Exodus 3. Cornelius was praying by himself when the angel of God came to him in Acts chapter 10. Also in Acts chapter 10, no one was with Peter on the housetop when he was instructed to go to the Gentiles. John the Baptist was alone in the wilderness in Luke chapter 1. And John the Beloved was alone on the island of Patmos when he was closest to God in Revelation chapter 1. Earnestly desire to get alone with God today and every day. If we neglect to do so, we not only rob ourselves of a blessing, but we rob others as well. How so, you say? Because we will have no blessing to pass on to them. It may mean that we do less outward visible work, but the work we will do will have more depth and power. You know, some people feel like they just need to be moving around and looking busy. Another wonderful result will be that people will see no one except Jesus. Isn't that interesting? When we do something good or we say we volunteer our time, do we want others to see us and what we're doing, or do we want them to see Jesus? It makes a huge difference. I think we get to a place in our walk and in selflessness where all the other things are like dross taken away from us until we can see the image of Christ and others can see Christ in us, in our lives. So the impact of being alone with God in prayer cannot be overemphasized. There's a poem here. If chosen men had never been alone, in deepest silence, open doored to God, no greatness would have ever been dreamed of or done. This really made me think today. We all still have a lot of growing to do. We'll be growing until we depart from this flesh and this corruptible and enter into God's kingdom. We'll be growing. I believe in my heart, as the Lord shared with me in my spirit, that we will be ever learning, ever growing. I pray this message has blessed you today. I pray that you just begin with some time alone with God, even if it's 20 or 30 minutes, and you'll soon that time expands as time goes on, and until you're alone with God and you don't even realize that a couple of hours have passed. If you don't have the liberty to that, you're going to have to get up a little bit earlier, but it'll be worth it. You'll find that you have more strength than you did if you slept until the last minute that you could be sleeping in the mornings. You'll have more strength because you got up. Lord bless you all. Bless you all in the mighty name of Jesus.